Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everybody, welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. This is the after show for Castle. This is episode 8, Kill Switch. I'm your host, Heather Joy Smith, and with me tonight is...
Alexis over here. Sorry,
She's over at the engineer booth.
Hi.
So, tonight's episode, unfortunately, Alexis and I were watching, and the president came on. So, we only got to watch the second half. But that's okay, because we pretty much got everything we needed to know, except for how the guy dies.
Yeah, so I apologize to everybody out there that we don't know how he died. We just know that it was Reeves.
Yeah, so Paul Reeves was the guy that was killed, but we don't know how he died. So if you guys want to tweet us and let us know, that would be great.
I would greatly appreciate it, because it kind of hurt my soul when I was like, why is Obama on right now?
We're like, wait a minute. And then, while we're almost to the end, it cut off again, but thankfully...
Because Heather is a smart
I was a smart
cookie.
little cookie, and I was like, wait, wonder if it were on ABC. We can just rewind it, and it worked. So
That was awesome.
That's
Because
cool.
It would have killed me if I didn't know how it ended.
yeah, because it basically was like right when we were about to find out what happened, and then it cut off. So we actually did okay, though. So tonight's episode, after all of that, was actually really good from what I saw.
I liked it.
And I really enjoyed the fact that they went back to like the actual like castle, no fluff, no frills, no cowboys and all that kind of stuff. It was just the whole murder mystery, figuring it out. Like, I love these castle episodes like this.
Yes, and it looks like next week is going to be kind of...
It's the frills again.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I'm excited because now it's, this episode was really, really good just because of the fact that it didn't really pertain to just Castle. It definitely involved Lainey, which we usually only get to see like once in the episode, but she was kind of in it the whole time. Esposito, more Ryan and everything like that. I did feel bad that there wasn't a lot of Kate and Castle, as much.
Yeah.
But I like that it was different. They changed it up, which was nice. So I really hope that maybe they give us a little bit more after the winter break, of Ryan and Esposito, or maybe more Lainey. But I quite enjoyed that we were involved with the team more. It was really awesome.
The whole time I was sitting there and I was really getting nervous the whole episode. Like, it was like,
yeah,
like anxious, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Like the whole episode.
The whole time. Because I definitely thought that was like, if Esposito gets hurt, it is going to kill me. But I liked also that the writers were sneaky because there was a lot of twists and turns that I was not expecting.
No, exactly.
Through this story. I was like, okay, typical hostage situation. He's an activist. Okay, he just wants to get attention. And then there was more to it. But we'll obviously get into that.
Yeah, so we'll get into all that. So basically, this guy, Paul Reeves, died. And as we said, we didn't really know exactly. We kind of came right into this as they were getting into the subway. And so what we saw was Esposito was trying to go after some guy. We didn't know who he was, why he was going after this guy, but we knew they were going to the subway. And that guy ended up being Jared Stone. And he is like a computer hacker and all kinds of weird things.
He just wanted to see justice in a typical government society kind of thing. And I was like, okay, cool. I can get on that. That's fine. So why the subway?
Exactly. We find out like later more to the story. But at first we're all like, why is this guy... I don't know. It was a little weird. Maybe it was explained in the beginning, but we didn't see that, so we don't know. But Jared gets on the subway, and Esposito goes after him and kind of like approaches him and is like, "Hey, are you Jared Stone?" And right then the guy like kind of freaks out, like right away, like not like, "Oh no, I'm not." Like, "What do you want?" Like kind of thing. It's just it was such
a strange way to approach somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like he was, I mean, I'm not saying that he was like extremely forward. He was doing, you know, as a cop, you know, that was his duty to sit there and actually, you know, hey, you're not in trouble. I just want to talk. But in my brain, I was like, oh, there's a lot of people on that car. It's a little strange. Like, hey, you know, maybe you could have done it. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know anything about, you know, being a cop and being in that line of work. I'm just saying that I felt like it was kind of direct, but not really direct. Like, I felt like the way that he handled it wasn't great. But again, you know, don't shoot the messenger.
Totally. And I don't know either because that female cop who was on there, she looked like she was interviewing other people that were passengers.
She was interrogating somebody.
Yeah, so I don't know if that had something to do with, you know, she was looking for Jared, but didn't know what she was looking for. I don't know.
It was strange.
I wish we could have seen the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be you know, I'm not gonna be lame and be like, oh, our president's not more important than Castle, even though, you know,
clearly he was.
But I mean, it kind of sucked because, you know, I didn't get to. Breaking news, you know, it does interrupt the show, so we're completely lost and we can't rewind because it's just going to go back to the segment, and it was a lot of confusion. I felt really bad, but I'm just glad that at least we got to see the ending because you're a smart cookie.
Yeah,
so,
and that would have ruined so worth. Oh my goch, if we didn't get to watch the end,
I would have been like, we're not doing an after show.
I'll
be like, sorry
what
guys,
are we gonna talk about?
We're only gonna talk about the middle for 10 minutes, and then you guys have to fill us in about the ending. Sorry guys, that's it. That's exactly how the after show would have gone. We're like, we're really sorry. Our DVR caught the very, very weird part, like the first, like, what was it, like 20, like less than that, like maybe 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and then it goes delete recording,
and
we were like, what? We're like,
it was weird. No. I don't know. I mean, the fact that, I mean, I'm not going to try to get too off topic, but I know that the Ferguson looting and rioting right now is really, really big. So again, I apologize that we're off topic, but I mean, at the same time, you know, I feel bad that we didn't get to see the beginning, but at the same time, what's going on in the world is just
exactly. And we can always go on abc.com and they have all the full episodes, so we will watch it. Don't worry, people.
Yeah, we literally just watched it before filming. So if you want to get our raw like insight on it, it was really hard to do that this time because we literally got the beginning and, you know, at one point the ending almost out of the way. That kind of sucked.
Oh gosh,
I don't even want to think about it.
I don't even want to think about it either. So Jared all of a sudden goes kind of crazy on everybody and just takes the whole subway hostage. You know, because that's totally normal when someone comes up to you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, okay, so this cop came up to me. Now it's time to make sure all the hostages are mine. And of course, it was very typical. Like we were talking about how, like, okay, there's a pregnant lady. There's a guy who's like some sort of salesman lawyer guy.
Yes.
I mean, he's not loyal, but he was a salesman.
I kept being like, shut up, salesman. Sit down.
What was his name?
It was like, I don't even know.
I can't remember. It was
I
like
can't say
Grant.
it, but I kept saying it while we were watching the show, but now
Grant.
I can't remember.
It was like Grant
or something. Yeah, it was like a G name.
Yeah, and I was just like, shut up. You're making things worse. You're not helping yourself. I love how he did shut up, though.
He did.
That made me really, really happy.
Yeah. So, they actually end up sending in the HRT, which is the hostage rescue team, to kind of go in and kind of oversee this, while you know, Castle and Beckett and Ryan and Sir, I guess we call her, are all back.
I love how the fans were like, you need to learn her name, and I'm like, I can't help it because she's not
directed as her name. It's always Sir.
I'm trying to remember it now because I was literally going, okay, remember this, Alexis, for the show. And now because of all the confusion and all this other stuff, because we were having scheduling problems while we were trying to get the show rolling, I can't remember it right now. It's gonna kill me later. Okay. I'm gonna get it.
So they were.
I'm gonna get it.
They were all back at the precinct, and this actual subway that they were in was kind of being like tested for surveillance technology. So it was actually equipped with cameras.
How convenient, huh?
How convenient that they could see everything that was going on. I mean, that's
I was just like, So they were just happening to test.
Yeah,
today?
just that one car.
That one car. Oh, man. I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, how convenient. But really, it was convenient for them because they were able to kind of get some information.
Which was good.
Yeah, from what was going on there. And it kind of, like, the whole, like, reasoning why Jared could have been doing this kind of, like, this is where it starts to get twisty and turny because it started going at, like, he was actually on his way to a seminar and an opera house that the top 1% of the wealthy attend these things, and they thought maybe that he was going to go in there and blow it up and have all these mass casualties and you know.
And same thing with the opera. There was one percenters.
Yeah.
That he was going to go blow up. And, you know, because he is an activist for, you know, the people. And I like how Esposito was like, these are your people. These are the people that are in, you know, here. There's police officers, mothers, you know, salesmen, you know, things like that. And as soon as he was like, I can't remember the line on the top of my head right now, but the fact that he was like, oh, not anymore or something like that, I was like, okay, so maybe he's not doing this for that reason. There must be a sub-reason, which we obviously found out.
Yeah, so that was interesting. And when the HRT ended up calling his cell phone and said, what are your demands?
Yeah.
It was interesting because I don't think he kind of was thinking like that at first. Like, he kind of acted like, what do you mean, what are my demands? Like, oh, I get to make demands? Like, oh. Yeah,
like he seemed like he was kind of surprised, but at the same time kind of like, okay, what do I ask for kind of thing. And I love how they even asked him about food. They were like, he was like, oh yeah, is anybody hungry? And I'm like, oh wow, you didn't even think about food.
Don't you love that every single person got their own pizza?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I would like to be in a hostage situation, but I mean, I like that you get a whole pie. Yeah, so that was kind of nice.
Like, wait, what kind do I get?
Yeah, I was kind of like, all right, okay, so I get the whole pie for me. Okay, let's see. I want like everything on it. And half cheese, half this. Like, it was really funny to watch how they did that.
Yeah, so one of his demands, though, was to have Aaron Wilson released from prison.
Which we all thought was a guy.
There were several times in this episode where I wrote something down and then had to cross it out because it was not what I thought it was. So I wrote down Aaron, A-A-R-O-N, and then crossed it out and was like, oh, E-R-I-N, Aaron, okay. It's a female.
Yeah. And I love it because even the captions that we read on our the television that when we watch,
they tricked us.
Yeah, it said Aaron, and I was like, all right, cool, it's a guy. And then they switched it, and then it was like Aaron and E-R-I-N, and I was like, okay.
I totally thought of that same thing. I was like, whoever did closed captioning on this did
you guys
a really
all
tricky job. I was like, you got us all.
Yeah, I was really upset. I was like, don't play with my emotions. Closed captioning people.
Yeah,
I'm so mad.
So Aaron Wilson ends up being Jared Stone's kind of like,
he said he was the soulmate.
Girlfriend, soulmate. He wishes they were together kind of thing. I don't really know.
I mean, the way that he said it, I was like, okay, there's definite love there. But at the same time, I was kind of like, what's your end game besides obviously getting your girlfriend out of prison?
I mean, like, is it mutual love? Like, does she
yeah,
them back?
That's what I'm glad that you brought that up because I definitely thought, I'm like, are you sure it's just you who loves this chick? Maybe she doesn't want to get out of prison.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought. And especially later in the episode when they went to her and said, did you know about this plan? She had no idea.
Yeah. It was really weird. I was just like,
crazy.
Okay, so she was definitely not in on it, so that's kind of nice. But at the same time, I was kind of like, okay, so seriously, like, what is your end game? I'm confused.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I'm glad that the first person he thought of was his girlfriend to get her out because he did a petition a long time ago online to get her out, and there's nobody who signed up for it.
Yeah.
So,
which brings up another good point is he had created a website to kind of get information out about her and had like message boards that people were writing back and forth on.
Yeah.
And he was meeting people on these message boards, which we will eventually get to.
Yes.
But just wanted to bring that up while we're at it.
It's an important, thing.
So Erin Wilson was actually convicted. She had a felony for database hacking, and so that's why she was in prison. Which is,
it kind of makes sense.
It makes sense.
Partners in crime.
They're partners in crime. They both are hackers. They're both, you know. And apparently he wasn't convicted of whatever that was.
Yeah,
he got off or something like that.
Yeah, the lawyer said that there wasn't enough evidence to convict him of the same charge.
So he's feeling this guilt, like she went to prison and I didn't. I got to get her out.
Yeah, I was more curious. I'm not saying that there was enough time for more backstory. I kind of wanted to know like how long she was in prison.
Yeah.
How long have they known each other? How, you know, because I mean he said he was, you know, that she was his soulmate. So I'm going to assume that they were like friends for like a long period of time, dated, a relationship thing. Because in my brain, I was thinking, okay, he didn't say girlfriend. So I was like, soulmate, is he married? But there was no ring. And I was like, okay. So I don't know. I went into that whole thing because we didn't really get to know him.
No, we didn't. And in my head, too, I was like, I was thinking, okay, she's probably been in prison like 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe they were together and she's kind of forgotten about him, but he's still hanging on and clinging to like that very last, like, no.
Yeah, because that's why I was thinking, I'm like, if someone was trying really hard to get, like, if I was in his shoes and I wanted to get my boyfriend or whoever out of prison, like, I want to know how long he's been doing it for.
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, to us and, you know, with TV Land and stuff like that, it felt like he was only been doing that for, like, 6 months maybe. But, like, I don't, the way that they were talking about it, they made it seem like he's been doing this for, like, a really long time.
Yeah,
so
I kind of felt like it was, like, a few years, couple years.
Yeah,
maybe.
like, I just wanted to know, like, how bad his situation was. Just a little bit. But, I mean, it wasn't, like, a dire need. It was just kind of, like, a back thought.
Yeah.
You know?
So, going back to Jared Stone and the whole like hostage situation on the subway, I feel like they were maybe on there like an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah,
probably, give or take.
Yeah,
you know. And throughout the whole time that they were on there, Jared, he was like hacking and had his inhaler, and he just looked awful. His eyes were all red. He was sweaty. Like,
gross.
He just looked terrible.
Yeah, because in my brain I was like, okay, asthma doesn't work like that. I mean, I understand you're nervous, but nerves can make you pale and it can make you sweaty. But he looked like he was about to like pass out. And the first thing I thought of was like, if this man passes out in this train, you guys are all dead. And I like that Esposito brought that up.
Yeah, I mean, because once he like released something on
his death switch. Like that,
on his bomb that he was
strapped to.
Yeah. Once he lets go of it, then it goes off. So it's like they had to make sure that he wasn't gonna let go of that, even like on accident. Like while he's like hacking, he's got to like hang on to it.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at it, his hand was like really gripping the switch.
Yeah,
but I was thinking the whole time, I was like, oh, because when he was sitting and when he was standing and pacing, I'm like, if this man gets tired, you guys are all screwed. Yeah. So that was a really scary thought for me. So I was like, okay, I don't know how this is going to pan out. So
I know that's the point where I literally was like,
I was like,
what is going on?
I was at the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
I was just like,
so good.
It was really good. It was a very good episode.
Yeah. So Lainey,
I love Lainey.
Speaking of Lainey, we love Lainey.
Yeah.
She was the one who actually went back, asked for the footage, and realized that what we were seeing, the whole asthma and the sweating, was actually flu-like symptoms. And she was the one who discovered that it was probably the H5N1.
I would have never thought of that. That was completely out of left field.
That was a crazy. I'm not quite sure how that all figured out.
You know what's funny? In my brain, I was like, I thought she saw something in the background, which was like, okay, whatever. I thought it was one of the hostages. I thought that the pregnant lady was hiding that she was going into labor. That's what I was thinking.
I was looking in the back too, like at the hostages, like, okay, what is one of them doing back there that
for Lainey to see?
Yeah. I had no idea it was going to be Jared.
Yeah. Like, I thought maybe that Esposito, like, gave her a look, or somebody was going to try to make a run for it, and then it was going to escalate or something. And, like, like, my third option was, this pregnant lady's going to go into labor, and we're going to have to figure that out, plus deal with the guy with the bomb. Yeah. Who's also sick. Which, okay, so we kind of skipped over this. When the pizza was delivered, there was, you know, those coupon sheets that they always put inside your pizzas. Those are my favorite things.
I love those.
Yeah, they're my favorite things.
And so, Esposito was like, okay, he knew. I think he knew once someone said his exact order. Yeah, he was like, oh, that's me.
That's weird.
Okay, yeah, that's weird.
I don't think he ordered pizza.
No,
I think he was more concerned about everybody else. So he was kind of like, those are the toppings that I like. I like how the other cop was like, what are you trying to do, kill us? Like,
I know. Yeah. Well, I think he was like thinking like, okay, you're in a Subway all day long, like in those like hot foods.
Yeah,
combined,
he had like jalapenos, olives, and pineapple, and I was just like, huh?
Oh, that just sounds so gross. But
to each their own.
Yeah, but it had a little note, you know, telling Esposito, like, you are on camera. Yeah. This is what we want to do. Nod your head if you are okay.
And he did it so smoothly.
So like, smoothly. Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
I was like, ah.
Yeah.
I
know. And the other thing I was thinking about, okay, so him and then the female cop that were Marissa. Yeah. When they were talking back and forth, I was like, how does this guy not hear them talking?
He's like 2 feet away.
I know.
I was going, shh, lower your voice.
I know, that's what I kept wanting to say. I'm like, shh, be quiet. He's going to hear you guys. It's like me like panicking watching.
Yeah,
this,
I was literally having a panic attack going, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I think everybody on this train can hear you. Because it's like, it's quiet.
Yeah, no one else is
talking. There's no sound. There's no talking involved. Like, you're whispering. I mean, obviously we're nitpicking, but.
Totally. But I think because I was like freaking out about.
My stomach was hurting.
Yes, because I was so anxious. I was like, oh, stop. You're going to get caught. Like,
oh my god. I was freaking out.
I know. So back to.
It's making me nervous just thinking about it.
I know. Back to the two of them, like talking to each other, though.
Yeah. They
had to come up with a plan to take down Jared as he's hacking up along, you know, and using
practically.
And Marissa, good for her to realize, like, every time he goes for the inhaler, he gets weaker and weaker. So take advantage of that.
Yeah, he gets like super distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was good. And it was interesting when I can't remember if it was her or him now, but one of them I think it was her pulling on her shoelaces.
Yeah.
I was like, is she trying to like tighten them so she could like run and like tackle
them?
Yeah,
I had no idea what she was doing.
I didn't know
she was taking them out. Yeah, because that was my next question. I was like, what did she just use to wrap up this man's thing? Because I missed that. I looked down to like write on my notes like, okay, this is about to go down. Like I literally wrote that in my notes. And then I looked up and she was already wrapping it around, but I saw her bending over to grab her shoe.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. But yeah,
she kind of like did like the whole like pull up the like front one. So I was like, oh, she just tightened
them.
She's
just fixing them.
Oh no, she was smarter than that.
No, this is why we have, well, you know, some smart cops. But yes, yeah, I thought that was really awesome of her. I was like, I would never. I was
like, you go, girl.
Yeah, I was like cheering. I was like, that's fantastic.
That was so awesome.
Was so good.
So yeah, her and Esposito took down Jared, and they had what they did with the shoelaces. They had to wrap it around.
Before letting go.
Yeah. The bomb to his hand and the wraparound. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. We know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't play with bombs. So. I mean, I don't really
We don't know what we're talking about.
Whatever.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's funny.
So as they get back, they start finding out more information about, you know, Jared and why he was doing what he was doing.
This is where it literally just...
This is where everything that we thought was happening
out the window.
Thrown out the window, completely 180.
I couldn't even believe it.
So, come to find out, this is once again where I started crossing things off because I was wrong. I wrote Jared Stone stole the virus from Paul Reeves. Had to cross all that out.
Yeah, because that was not what that was.
Not what that it was. In fact, Jared's inhaler was infected with this virus.
Excuse my language, but how effed up is that?
Yes.
Like that's your, I mean, it's not a life source, but I mean, that's your only way of getting fresh air, especially because my dad has asthma, but like, holy shnikes, like, you shouldn't do that. That's pretty messed up.
That is so messed
Like,
up.
if you guys were in the viewing room while we were watching this, we both, like, that's literally what we did. Like, I was in shock. That was crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Now, this next part, hopefully I get this right, because once again, we didn't see the beginning, so maybe there was some more details.
There was a lot of details.
But this lady, Mrs. Jarvis, kind of came out of the woodwork, so I didn't know where she came from.
She was just the partner of Reeves. That's all I know.
Yes, I had wrote down, she was the girlfriend or the wife of the prosecutor who prosecuted Jared Stone's girlfriend, Erin Wilson.
No, I think that was him.
Oh, him?
It was him.
Oh,
he was the prosecutor. I don't know. All I know is, oh no, maybe you're right. Okay, this is where I really need you guys to fill in.
We got to fill in the blanks that we missed here.
Yeah, because that was, like I said, where you weren't just like, oh, dozing off. Like, literally our feed was all broken.
Like, so the first 24 minutes we didn't see.
So I know that we were watching the East Coast feed, correct?
So West Coast
feed,
it.
Please tell me what happened, because we're both lost.
Yeah.
And I would like to know. But
I have my TV on and recording it, so I can go home and watch it later.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it tomorrow, but I would like to know
if you could tweet us tonight.
Yeah, that would make me happy. Because I'll be here still.
Yeah. So I kind of want to know who this Mrs. Jarvis girl is. I know that she worked at Latham.
Yes, which
was the supplier of, they did the investigating on the virus.
Yeah.
And which Paul Reeves, I guess, worked at. He
was the one that started the investigation.
Yeah.
That's why he died.
Yeah.
That's all I know. This is why I really need to know the beginning.
We need to know what happened.
I feel like we're like super left out.
I'm sorry, you guys. I really am.
Sorry. It was really hard because we were sitting there going, what is happening to our episode? And then it was just like in the middle. It was already where the whiteboard was already up, and I was like, wow, we missed a lot. So, but we got to see the ending, so I'm really happy about that. And it was a really
good episode, besides what we missed.
Yeah, because I would have been really, really sad if it was like more than half.
Yeah.
Because then we would have had to we would have had to completely rewatch it.
Yeah.
It would have been terrible. But I like the ending that Mrs. Jarvis was the one that got I like how they found out. They were like, who needs 10 million?
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. 10,000
10,000 vaccines for the H5N1 disease or they needed the vaccine, and they were saying that if they concluded with just the opera house and the people on the train and whoever he got in contact with, it still wouldn't be enough, but you shouldn't have that.
No.
Yeah.
And she had invested a lot of her stocks. I think they said almost all of them into Latham or whatever.
Yeah, into the company.
Because clearly they were going to be making a lot of money with these vaccines.
I like how they brought it up. They're like, you must be someone like who's super sick to sit there and try to kill like thousands of millions of people.
Yeah.
Just to get money.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy.
I mean, please fill us in, because I'd like to know, like, really, why does this woman want to do this?
Yeah, because, I mean, they didn't, like I said, we missed a whole bunch, but at the same time, like, it didn't really explain, like, was she, like, it was her business, like, dying or something like that? Because I feel like to go to those kind of lengths, you have to be, like,
that's crazy.
Desperate.
Yeah.
And she didn't look very desperate, at least at the time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I thought it was really, really, really strange, like, for her motives, but at the same time, it made sense.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it was a good episode.
It was a very good episode.
Next week's episode is a little confusing to me because it looks like Castle's going to be an action movie, but not an action movie. Like, I don't know what's happening. All I saw was he was wearing a sleeveless shirt and there was explosions happening.
Should we get into the little predictions?
Yes, we shall. Nope.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Go first, please.
Well, like I said, I think we're going to bring in some
major cheese.
Some major cheese coming next episode.
Yeah.
Major. That's okay. I know you like these cheesy episodes.
Yeah.
So
totally.
I really like tonight's episode. Like this straightforward, kind of twisty-turny. I love it.
Yeah, like I was
the whole
sitting on the edge of your seat kind of episode.
I like that kind of episode.
Yeah, and that it caught you off guard kind of thing.
Yeah.
Know? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do love Castle's antics. I really do. So I am excited for next week's episode, but at the same time, I'm really hoping that either after the break or right before the break, which I know they'll probably end up doing just to keep us on the edge of our seats, that because we only have 2 episodes left before break, correct?
Yeah, 2 episodes.
So probably like the last episode, they're probably going to fill it with a bunch of Castle stuff about, the major case or his disappearance, and then they're just going to leave us for like a couple months.
They've kind of left us right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, hello, did you all forget that we want to know what happened? I mean, I know you're waiting.
I mean,
but we don't want to wait that long.
I mean, I bet you they're going to make us do that. I bet you.
Oh, they totally are.
Next week's going to be more fun. Probably the next week's going to be like half fun and maybe half serious. And then the last episode before break is going to be just filled with stuff, and it's going to leave a huge cliffhanger, and it's just going to suck. The episode's not going to suck. I'm just going to say
it's going to suck not knowing what's happening.
I'm going to go through
2
emotional
months.
turmoil trying to figure out what's going on. But other than that, I am excited to see what happens next week.
I agree. I'm excited for the next 2 episodes.
It's going to be crazy. But anyway, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Heather Joy Smith. And what about you, Alexis?
Hold on. I'm trying to... This is really hard to do from the booth.
You guys, she's doing a great job tonight.
Oh, thanks, guys. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at ATorres890. That's ATORRES 890.
We will see you guys here next Monday for 2 more episodes before the break.
Oh, bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.